Hi, I'm Daniel Andrews, owner and creator of the DAN Show, and welcome to my latest 2021 NFL preview video. Today, I'm going to break down the New York Giants. Now, if this is your first time here, it's got one simple question to ask you. Do you like football? Because if so, you're in the right place. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and while you're at it, ring the bell. That way you can be notified every time I come out with a new video. If you've been here before, you already know the drill. Give me a thumbs up and drop a comment below with what you think the New York Giants are going to do for the 2021 NFL season. Now, in most videos, I break down 3 likes and 3 dislikes. However, unlike most channels that just talk the talk, I actually walk the walk. I am betting on the New York Giants this year, and I'm going to explain why, how, and what specifically I'm going to bet on. So stay tuned. You're in for a special treat. I am putting action down on the New York Giants, and you should too. Stay tuned. Just to stay congruent with the rest of my videos, I'm going to give you the top 3 reasons why I'm going to put action down on the New York Giants. Then I'm going to explain the different bets that I plan on making with the New York Giants. Now, the first reason I am putting action down on the New York Giants this year is the way they finished their season. Anytime I look at a team going into, in this case, 2021, I look at how they finished in 2020. The Giants started off 1-7, but they finished 6-10, which means they were 5-3 the last half of the season. Now, this 5-3 finish included a 3-game losing streak against Arizona, Cleveland, and Baltimore. Now, Arizona's a pretty good football team. Both Cleveland and Baltimore made the playoffs. Not only did they make the playoffs, they both won games in the playoffs. All right, they actually advanced in the playoffs. So that really stands out. Under new defensive coordinator Patrick Graham, who stayed with the team despite getting offers to be a head coach, or at least interviews, they went from 30th in scoring defense in 2019 to 9th in 2020, giving up 22.3 points a game. During the first half of the season, they gave up 24.88 points a game, but the last 8, only 19.75 points a game. Look, if you have a defense that's given up less than 20 points a game, you're going to win a lot of football games. And not once did they give up over 30 points in the last half of the season. This shows a variety of different things. This shows the team is mentally tough and improving, and it also believes that they believe in their coaching staff. Again, I want to explain, Patrick Graham was interviewed by other teams, so that's very important that he's staying behind. It shows some congruency in the New York Giants, and it shows that this defense should be able to maintain a top 10 level, maybe even better. But the second reason I'm going to put action on the New York Giants is their offensive improvement. First off, you get Nate Solder coming back. He was the starting left tackle, and he sat out last season, which forced Andrew Thomas, the 4th overall pick, who the Giants originally wanted to be a plug-and-play player on the right side. That forced him to go over to the left side. And last year they drafted Matt Pert in the 3rd round, another offensive tackle. They could go into the season with Thomas on the left and Pert on the right, and Solder could be the swing tackle. What I really think is going to happen is Solder will take over on the left, and Thomas will go back to the right, and Pert will be the swing tackle. It doesn't matter how this combination works unless Thomas ends up not being good enough to be a starter. In that case, then you may not be in a great situation, but no matter what, the Giants' offensive line situation will be improved in 2021. And then you also added wide receivers John Ross, Kenny Galladay, and first-round pick Kadarius Toney. In Toney, you get a legitimate special teams threat. This guy will be the day 1 starter as your punt and kick returner. And even though it's not one of the main things about the offense, your special teams being better is just going to help your team overall. You get a legitimate number 1 wide receiver in Kenny Galladay, and if you get nothing else in John Ross, you get speed. This is the guy who ran a 4.22 40 at the combine, fastest time ever, and he's only 26. So what? Things didn't work out with the Cincinnati Bengals, who won 6 games the last 2 years. Maybe going to the Giants and getting a fresh start will help. If nothing else, he adds speed. You still have 3rd-year wide receiver Darius Slayton, and you get Sterling Shepard, plus Pro Bowl tight end Evan Ingram. So what does this mean? You mean your offensive line is better, and then you also added your skill position talent. You have an offense that finished 31st in scoring last year. You had a terrible offense. What do? You improve the offensive line, you add wide receivers, and then the third and maybe main reason I like the New York Giants is Saquon Barkley returns. Now I'm going to rant here a little bit. Some idiot with PFF during the 2018 draft said there was no reason the Giants should use the second overall pick to draft Saquon Barkley. Change my mind. You know how popular that was. Well, I was thinking we could have a discussion like gentlemen. And I pointed out 2 years ago the Dallas Cowboys used the number 4 pick for Ezekiel Elliott, and they went from a team needing the number 4 pick overall to the playoffs. The year before that, or actually the year after that, which would be 2017, the year before, the Jacksonville Jaguars took Leonard Fournette with the 4th overall pick, and they went from having the 4th overall pick to the AFC Championship game. Specifically, 10-point lead in the 4th quarter in Foxborough, AFC Championship. Remember that game? So there was a direct correlation between taking a running back with the 4th overall pick, now the Giants picked 2nd, and going to the playoffs. I thought we could have a discussion like gentlemen. No, he resorted to name calling and trashing me, saying I didn't know anything. His comments were so bad, one of his coworkers actually messaged me and said, hey man, I apologize for my coworker. We're not all, but you know what? Hey, listen, this is why you don't follow PFF. All right? Because it costs you money to bet on their idiotic service and those morons over there, where if you follow me, I don't charge anything for my YouTube channel. All I ask is that you hit the subscribe button. I will make you money. PFF costs you money. My stuff here on YouTube's free. It's not always going to be free, though. Pay attention and take these videos while you can before I start charging, because it's just a matter of time before I start charging for this info, because I'm going to put action down on the New York Giants, all right? This is great stuff you want to follow, all right? PFF's going to cost you money. I'm going to make you money, okay? So now my rant's over. Saquon Barkley is coming back healthy. He was injured week 2, and if healthy, he'll probably get about 400 touches if he's healthy the whole season, and he's a dark horse MVP candidate. This is somebody, if you're not familiar with him, that set every single weightlifting record while at Penn State, but at the Combine still ran a 4.4040 and at a 41-inch vertical. By the way, Barkley weighs about 235 pounds. He runs and catches like a wide receiver. He's as big as linebackers, and he's injured week 2. That means he's early enough injured that he'll make a full recovery. He'll be ready at the beginning of 2021 behind that much improved offensive line. So look, this is the big 3 reasons why I'm betting on the Giants. They had a great second half of the season. You have the offensive improvement, plus with Kadarius Toney, you get special teams improvement, and then you get Saquon Barkley returning. So what bets am I making for the 2021 football season with the New York Giants? This is what I'm doing. All right, let's start with this, straight from Westgate Casino in Las Vegas. And by the way, anytime you ever hear ESPN mention Vegas, they're referring to the Westgate Casino. I don't know the exact affiliation, but I do know that if you look at anything ESPN says from Vegas, they are referring to the Westgate Casino. And right now the number is 7.5 for the yearly win total. Over 7.5 is even money, which means a $100 bet will win you $100. And under 7.5 is negative 120. So that means a $100. You have to wager $120 to win 100. Now, William Hill in Iowa is currently offering what's called an alternate regular season win bet. This is called a prop bet. This is something they advertise to generate action because it's a better than normal number. It's probably not going to be available when I'm going to place my bets, because I place them close to the season, because I want to make sure that I'm not making a wager then having an injury happen. And when you're betting on the over, you don't want preseason injuries to happen, of course. Now, if you're betting on the under, it's a different story, which you don't want to cheer for an injury, but it does help you. Now, this line is over 8 wins is plus 170, and under 8 is negative 200. So if this is available close to the start of the NFL season, I'm definitely going to take this instead of just over 7.5, which, it's a half a game. Now, granted, it's really one full game because the difference between 8 and 9 is, of course, one full game. Here's another bet from the William Hill Sportsbook. For the Giants to make the playoffs, no is negative 310, which means you have to wager $310 to win 100. But yes to make the playoffs is plus 250, which means a $100 wager will win you $250. Current odds to win the NFC East, Dallas is plus 115, which means a $100 wager will win you $115. The Washington football team is plus 260, and the New York Giants are plus 425. Now, here's what you do with the NFC East odds. You put 100 on Washington and 100 on the Giants. This is called hedging your bet because it doesn't matter which one of these two teams wins. You win. If Washington wins, you get a profit of 260. The Giants win, you get a profit of 325. Either way, it's a win-win. You only lose if Dallas wins the division. So bottom line, let's say you're going to the casino with $1,000 to put on the Giants, which is more or less what I'm going to do. I'm going to assume that alternate regular season win total is not going to be available, okay? I'm just going to assume that it's not going to be available. If it is, I'm putting action on it. But I'm assuming that right now I'm going to go with the 7.5 being even money for the over. And I'm betting out of that $1,000, $750, which is, of course, 75% of my bankroll. And the reason why you want to do this is that when you're betting over-unders for the year, you got to win, all right? These aren't the bets that you want to get crazy on. These aren't the bets that you want to get wild on. When you're betting over-unders for the year, you have to pick winners. Have that foundation set. Have a profit for the end of the year, okay? I'm taking 50%, which is just 5%. $50, I'm sorry. 5% to make the playoffs. So a net win there is $175. Then I'm putting $100 on the Washington football team and the New York Giants to win the NFC East. So let's just say the Giants win the NFC East, which I believe they will do. You will end up with a grand total of $425 from that original $200. You get $175 from the 50 because, if you win the East, you obviously make the playoffs. And if they win the NFC East, now, granted, I know the Washington football team won with 7, but with the extra game and being that it's usually doesn't happen, usually happens once every several years, it's very safe to assume that 8 wins will be achieved for the Giants if they win the NFC East. So I hit that $750 bet, which gives me a grand total of $2,100 out of my original investment of $1,000. Now let's say the Giants only get to 8 wins and Dallas wins the NFC East. That's worst case scenario. Then that $1,000 investment nets me a $1,500 investment. Now, if the Washington football team ends up winning the division, but the Giants still make the playoffs, well, you know what? Instead of $2,100, you only make I didn't have the amount down ready, but it's $1,885. Yes, that's right. You almost make double your investment if Washington wins instead of the Giants. So either way, whether the Giants or the Washington football team wins the division. Now, if Washington wins and the Giants don't make the playoffs, then you unfortunately will only win $1,760. Again, that's not a bad investment for $1,000. So that is how I am going to bet the Giants. Again, here's how you do it. Take 75% of your bankroll. In this case, $750, you put it on the over. Put 5%, which in this case is $50 on the Giants to simply make the playoffs. Then you take 100 on both the Giants and the Washington football team to win the NFC East. This is what's called hedging your bets. Either way, you end up making a profit, and you will end up, best case scenario, making $2,100 out of that $1,000. So this is what I am going to do this football season. Once I make the bets, I will show you the bet slips. But keep in mind, this is late July. Between now and the beginning of the football season, a lot of things could happen. But this is what I am planning on doing with my money, and this is what I plan for you to do. Now look, If you're watching this video on a premiere, it's Friday night. You know what that means. I go live. 7:15 Central Standard Time. All your questions are answered. You can ask questions about this video, any one of my other videos. We can talk anything football related. Basically in the live stream, anything goes. All right. Now Monday, I'm going to break down the San Francisco 49ers. So before I go, don't forget, give me a thumbs up. And if this is your first time watching this video, please hit the subscribe button. It really helps me out quite a bit. And while you're at it, why don't you ring the bell, that way you get notified every time I come out with a video, including this one, which is a bonus video, a great video, a money-making video. You don't want to miss out on this stuff. So look, hopefully I get to see you guys on the live stream. It's going to be a great show. I will see you tonight.